Hello, and welcome to Pillars of Eternity. We have any quests we need to finish? The missing sentries. We need to go to the Crucible Knight's place. First fires. There'd be the Crucible Knights, ready to do my bidding. Most likely. We'll see. Okay, go to Crucible Keep. And let's take a look if this guy has anything else for us. Sada looked like she had a few bats and a few square meals. She smiled shyly. News from Heritage Hill? Didn't she already tell you? Your guard were charmed by a spirit of a woman named Lyra. I've gotten rid of her. Her tired eyes grew round. By the flame, you found her, my missing comrades. She halved aside and lost her gaze amongst the floor tiles, and she was calling for the watch from beyond the grave. Doesn't make any sense, but nothing in this accursed district does. What happened to the soldiers under her spell? All your knights are dead. Train them better next time. I see. Nevertheless, thank you for your help. You've left me with many questions as answer. But at least I know what happened to my troops and Commander Lyra. Please accept this, a token of my gratitude. Anything else? Nope. Let's get out of here. I think it's time we continue with the catacombs. Oh, also, what enchantment should I give you? A Reserve of Might. That'd be 6. 40. So I can't have Proving, because it's not hard enough just to upgrade it, you have to give a limit to it. Fine. Guillaume of Might. And then we'll need Legendary. No Proving this time round. And what about you? Exceptional. We could have purchased the Sapphire. Speaking of which... It says it requires 8. Oh, because it's fine right now. So this will go away, and then we'll be able to purchase that. So slang is not an option for this weapon. Fine by me. Let's get out of here. To the Copperlands. From there, we can visit the catacombs and see if there is anyone who's willing to stand in my way. They shouldn't be too hard to fight. I mean, right? Yes, I can retain my character, I know that. Definitely need to rest at some point. Well, if you find camping equipment in there, maybe. Alright, yeah, I won't count on it. I do feel like I'm strong enough to take them on. You also need to take a look at potions and scrolls I can create. Okay. Thank you for that game. The Temple of Whitaker. Let's go. We should have enough information to penetrate this place, and perhaps kill everyone. Yeah, your time will come soon enough. I heard murmurs and chants on the other side of this door. A ruro of some sort already underway. Don the hood and mask. Continue into a chamber, alone. You pull the hood and mask over your head. They are uncomfortable, but they seem to hide your face. I opened the door and stared into the chamber. Several shrouded figures were lined up across from the hooded woman. The figure at the head of the line approached me, and the woman placed her outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stood in silent communion as I looked on. A few moments later, the stranger stepped aside and resumed his place in the circle around the statue. The woman turned to me. "You are late, attendant." Even though her face was concealed, I sensed her rage in her dangerously low voice and in sudden silence of the others in the chamber.
"I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now, state your name and purpose."
The woman beckoned me closer. With curling fingers, she raised her open hand on my forehead, and I felt the heat from her palm through the thick metal of my hood. Her voice is low and soft, but you are not certain whether she's speaking aloud or in your head. Maybe later. She snatched her hand back. A piercing scream sound from under the hood. Imposter. Maybe not the best idea in the world. Yeah, there. What the? Dude. Fine, get in there. Wonderful, I might actually die because this game doesn't know what to do. Oh, now you're gonna go in. Use the Crucible of Soul. What's even the point of that? Except to annoy me. Get out of there!
I can't move.
And what, now you can't go back?
I'm stuck over here.
Are you gonna shoot him?
Ready.
Great! Go around them, that's a brilliant idea.
Parathis!
Stand together!
Go. What, are you still alive? Crumpled at my feet lay the body of a woman. She wore a dark robe that bare the insignia resembling a key. As I approached the woman's body, fleeing of rage assaulted me. The dead woman's voice howled in my ears, and her lingering consciousness rent at me. Her essence tightened through my bones and membranes. It felt the space between my ears and behind my eyes, going deeper into my core. I saw a gathering of men and women wearing robes like hers, their faces hidden behind masks. One by one they approached her, whom they know as the acolyte, and she placed her hand on each of their foreheads, searching their thoughts. She tested them with realistic questions, and they answered that their oaths sealed by the London key. She asked them of their tasks. She gave them new ones. Oh, without a word. Try to see the tasks. Her essence flared, fighting to boil my blood, burn my memories, and splatter on the bones from within. Yet between their strikes, I saw flashes of something else. A tower, a prisoner, and a ruin. I funneled all of my concentration into a single effort of a will. A sharp point that pinned a raging cell in place like an instrument in the display case. With the thing under control, I was able to examine it, and the three thoughts swirling inside. Examined through about the tower. I saw a pub set of neighborhood, run-down estate are cobbled around a cemetery, and an ancient tower. Savage shapes piled the streets, and in the tower's man hunched over a strange mechanism. I can't see clearly, but there was something unnatural about him. Somewhere nearby I saw a woman with a scar over her heart. I understood that she had something he needed. I also saw a door in the base of the tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper, but then the acolyte reveals the invisible split between the perfectly matched hulls, and I understood how the copper veins covered the command into action. Okay, I know how to open the door. I remember the tower. Inquire about the prisoner. In my mind, I saw a building magnificent with tallest of the tiles and located in a prison bungalow. The wealthy and lean straw and out of training knowledge and coin, yet it also housed a misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core sat a man, his hair matted, but his eyes alert. He watched and waited, a prisoner by choice. Looked into the ruins. The acolyte's visions took me away to Defiance Bay, and to a town in the wilderness with a windmill. A signpost on one of the paths reads, Direford. Several figures huddled together, shrouded in coats and hoods. An image of ruins suddenly loomed in my head. Two skeletal fames flanked a cliff in the mountainside, and so I backed away. Can't believe that. I have 12 health left.
I'll take a look.
Okay, we need to kill guards as well. What the hell are you doing? Torque of Defiance against Charmed, Confusion, Defense against Dominated, and Concentration. Sure. Don't forget there are bound to be secrets here. I mean, it's a secret chamber within a secret temple, within an abandoned and haunted basement. What, really? No secrets? That is surprising. I want you over here. The rest of you can take care of the bandits. I sincerely hope.
Slow and silent.
A few miles north of Kindle Vales is a tiny village called Whitrun. So small it often missed on the map and tax records. The village has little contact with the rest of Daiwood. Despite its tiny size, the village has a long history, dating back to its using of Grainhow tribal camp over 3 centuries ago. One of the most prominent features of the community is Deep Well, the top of which is made of Gwydian ultra. Though not of any religious significance to Guampatians, all who see it agree that the well is truly ancient. In recent years locals have reported strange sounds from within the well. Some describe it as animal sounds, others as odd speaking in foreign tongue. No one has dared venture down into the wall, but the villagers are becoming nervous about drawing water from it. Though the community has modest resources at their disposal, they have reached out to nearby lords for assistance. Venturing into the depths of Winterfell, well, Kana discovered that while the foundation of the well were made of living Adra, the source and sounds for which that have been dropped into the well by their mothers. Ugh. In total, a dozen women from Delwealth and the surrounding woods had dropped their children into the well after they learned they would turn into wicks. Some had died, but many survived to fall, living on as small rodents and other creatures. They wandered the ruins and Gwydian tunnels under the well. Kana was forced to fight the aggressive wicks, but eventually emerged and told the villagers what had transpired. Some of the mothers confessed what they had done immediately. Others fled the village. In the end, no one had the desire to punish anyone for what happened. This dingy-steamed cloak was once used in a large traveler's sheet for an unforgiven hollow-born child that was dropped into the whirlwind well. As it sat on the bottom of the well amongst the foundation of the living Adra, the clan of wits, it required strange powers. Okay, so it's filled with suffering, that's good.
I'm here.
I wasn't even gonna fall. I'm just saying, I was gonna survive this if the door opened correctly there.
Yes.
Hey,
Okay, everyone, look here. Genius.
I'm
Focus.
here.
lover of beyond safety.
Hey, Alot, you alright? Good, I want everyone to focus on the mage.
Dead on.
Lover.
Again, I do need to find some potions that would be useful. I mean, I usually use a lot of potions. But I don't think this game gives you any good ones to craft. Or any good ones to, you know, have.
I'd be good.
Okay, use this. I want him dead.
I'm here.
From him.
Dead on.
Yes.
I'm surprised you hit him from that distance. Nice shot, Sagani.
I'm on the trail.
Just take everything from them. Make sure they're all dead. You, stay there,
Hey.
and you, move forth. Everyone here, now. Okay. Oh, you don't need to be dead. Oh, for the love of just... Well, that was a genius move right there. Would you equip that bow, please?
Got an arrow for this one.
Love will be on seek. Love will off that wood.
What you got it?
Was that it? Was that all of them?
I'm
Good. We can have those. Just until we copy their spell, then we can sell them.
I'll take a look.
Need to make move then. See if there are any mages there to kill. Yeah, there are a few. Focus. It was a brilliant move right there.
Yeah.
Dead on. I'm here. Quietly now.
Another grimoire. Take it.
Hey.
You move over there.
Lava will be on seek.
You know, it'd be funny if I prone you. That was an easy kill.
I shall be discreet.
You want Hell Grimoire on him. He's truly a disappointment for everyone who is around.
I'll take a look.
Hey, tonight there are 2 more guards there. I think we can take them.
Hey.
Move here.
Ready, Watcher.
Good. Take him.
Yes?
Simple. Okay, let's get out of there. Still didn't find anything to help me out with this, but at least now I know what I need to do. Or at least where I need to start searching, because I actually don't know what to do. The store of Cadnua has received a letter from me. Lurgan's battery.
Ever tried vulture?
A moment,
We don't have
please.
those in Nazi talk.
I feel
You're
I should
lost.
explain
They
myself.
can eat anything, so their stomach juices are sour and tangy, like ripe fruit.
My loss indeed.
Right, let's talk to you.
About my episode in the catacombs. There's something I should have told you earlier.
Very well, speak. He clasped his hands together, slowly massaging his knuckles with a thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. That when we resolved the matter of your soul, we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
He closed his eyes and gripped his teeth. His lips quivered and twitched with vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opened his eyes again. They were watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about this Isilmir.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen. Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get this gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
Wow. So it's a woman's voice that's supposed to sound like that. Okay. He grimaces, running his hands through his hair. I have none of her memories. Barrett spread me, not much, but her coarse manners and intolerable hair-speak suggest a provincial form, a very, very long time ago. She tends to surface a hair of brands from conflict. When the fuss has burned down, the teeth are the edge, and when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge a situation. She just acts. Sounds like you could take a few cues from her. Cues of garrisons. He rolled his eyes and crossed his arms over his chest. I've had to live with this hairseed for years. There's nothing to be learned from her. Nothing civilized, anyway. Why didn't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meerwald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Are you going to be a problem?
Merely an annoyance. Although,
He pursed his lips into a thin, crooked line. He lowered his voice and clasped his hands behind his back. Minute twitch of spasms along his arm's battery. He's Frenching.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
We'll see. I can't take any promises, so
Of course. I understand.
let's get going. Right, we need to go to the College of Animancy. We were there before. This won't be much of a problem. Luckenberry. Go there.
So, Alaf, have you ever woken up to find your other half used your body during the night?
I don't think I understand you. And I'm not sure I want to.
Well, I've found that if I go to sleep hungry enough, I wake up covered in blood and delightfully full.
Wow, you two have so much in common. Let's go. Right.
Good day, stranger.
You may have a member of the London Key in your midst. Our Warden Alomir. I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their instructions into our affair. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they are meddled, or whether Comity has stuck on its own, but few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They are perpetual nuisance. Once again, I'm reminded of how envious I am of your gift. I suspect they would be of some use in variety of one's identity. They are up to something, and I am determined to find out what. They are always up to something. Of that you may rest assured. If their plots have come to involve you, you have my sympathies. Do you have any idea who this person might be? I suspect it's a patient. Very well, in that case I would recommend you speak first. Our resident animancer. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up there, on their official downstairs. You'll report anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. Does anyone here know about Awakening? There is an animancer on the lower floor. Came all the way from Reville to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Bell Sage. Okay, sounds cool.
Laying low.
London's Key. This can't possibly be good. Move over here. I'm looking for an expert on Awakening. That would be me. Though the lack of research subject has made me more of an expert in countering fullbroads, I would like to transfer Animancy success in butterseeing pre-awakened souls to sweeten those whose souls have already awakened, but I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It is a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're lucky I have a volunteer here. She springs to the bow, and her feet beaming. Galadre, who is it? I don't know about this. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. Oh, yeah. Harmless. I beg your pardon? I jest. You Adrians are so upright. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of this office. I think now we upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubbed her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Alod by the shoulder and steers him to the couch. And try to relax. But don't try too hard. Then you'll not be relaxing. Indeed, his eyes were humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animancer fastened thick copper bands to Alod's forehead and wrists. As she reached them tightly, his face twitched with suppression irritation. Okay? Now, I will examine your cell through my scope. She reached into the desk and produced a long chambered tube. Knobs, discs, and a small toothed wheel run along the side of the device. It is fitted with other lasses cut of different thickness and consistencies. But manipulating them, I find an angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your cell. Does that mean we'll get to talk to Ismir more? I like that lady. But first, we must find the cunning interplorer. You'll answer some questions while I make adjustments. Don't worry, I'm sure you won't hear any of it. Very well. She held her scope to her eye and flicked the knob. To begin, tell me something personal, something from the time before your awakening. There is nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in Cinderwood. He looked at me. His face was set in frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension showed through his nervousness. What do you remember about your home? As I spoke to Allard, I felt his voice like a bell in my chest. It tolled softly, lunging him into a mist of his own memories. Balasage doesn't seem to notice anything, but I felt as if my words are smoothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closed his eyes. Comfortable, modest, quiet, my mother is away, which is most of the time, quiet enough to hear the clinch of glass and wood. This is when I know to be most careful. Father is good about binding the bottles. Mother, when she's home, is good pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm stirring it to see something. Continue. Tell us more about the time you awakened. She bit her tongue as she twisted one of the dials. I'm in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can't let my guard down a little because when she is around he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. Only moments I am sweeping in the kitchen. The next I am spawning on the ground, stupidly looking at the fleck of the blood on the tile. His boots glistening with flesh-polished stub across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals. But it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I could. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen and my mother and my own trembling knees is nothing but a bumping against the flat of black. His jaw locked. His eyes twitched beneath his lids. Madichel, Balasek curiously cracked with the notes along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with an old memory. You've got to bring him out of it, quickly. I almost have it. This is just a memory. It isn't real. Alad's eyes snapped open, but the expression I saw isn't his. And what about those rattles you see in the face 20 years? They're real hilarious for ya. Balasage sucked a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence, something spreading and congregating. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. And what brought you here? Cracking bones and voices higher and higher. The warm also feeling that creeps down your gut when crisis is nigh. Well, Patel, we have flames of totally distinct essence. Now try to get two of them talking. Isomer, tell Aloth, why have you awakened? Why? He's the one needed me, hiding in his own bone bag, like a turtle in a shell. I never turned it over to you. Good, yes, very good. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, he often flows as if the awakened stove fills the space and leaves empty. Go on. What is this about ceding space to Isomir? I've given her nothing. She absorbs me in my own body. Aye. And I lend him a pair too. You should ask with it. I did what a owl man of his. How the last time he laid a hand on us, I broke his 3 places. Ooh. Nice. That wasn't your decision. It never has been your decision. And I was awakening, but now I'm stuck with ya. And damn if I let you nearly drag us both through the scupper. Very good. I think I finally got something we can work with. I tracked Ismir's essence through the exchange. She had particularly high density index during the most hatred end portions of her argument, and her essence seemed to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that she is triggered by black bile. No doubt, the subject's charismatic melancholy is to blame. Alot blinked back at me. In the midst of his perpetual "you're not quite sure who's looking at you" for his eyes. That's utter horseshit. Doesn't seem though she's got out of him, right? Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. You were close. I think Izmir's appearances are related to pretentious source of trouble for Alon. Balasage carefully scratched the jaw, her grace darting between you and Alon. I suppose that could be true. I have to check this against other research. Well, and good for you, but what does this mean for me? Balasage flowed at her nose, tapping her cheek with quill and marking a grand show of concentration. However, I caught her stealing a glance at me over the pages. Isomir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her take these decisions for you. It seems that Isomir steps in when she determines that you're in danger. It's not clear yet whether this is a help or hindrance. For my position, I'd say it's pretty clearly a hindrance. I've got a lot of process regardless. Thank you for your help, Yliel. He does not look at Balasage. She set her notes on her desk and returned to her scope. Well, I hope this has been as useful to you as it has been to me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Rua. Allo. Aye. Advancing in righteous principles of animancy, just what we've always wanted. As I turned to leave, I caught a darting movement on the corner of my eye. Balasage coming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Alop's holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches me watching. He held a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially not from her nonsense. Fair enough, but do it quietly. He hid the papers in his cloak. Not to worry. Not to worry. We'll see to this on our own. I actually do need to rest somewhere before we continue this. Can I rest here? Yes, go ahead. Good. Construction has been completed. I'm not worried, we'll find more camping equipment as we explore. We have the hedge maze, those three things. They all give me prestige, do they not? This one actually gives me security. This one or this one? It really doesn't matter. I don't think we'll reach the castle before it's done anyway. Alright, let's read the book. Thousands, the Crucible Knights, 10 Years of Dawn. Okay, let's see to this one. 10 years I had to devour leave, and 10 years I told myself that living in St. Wildwen footsteps would bring me rebirth. Each dawn I pray that it thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light, and each night would bring the same emptiness. For my decades of living as a simple dye farmer, all I have to show for it is a great deal of purple clothing. Eothas has not spoken to us since he appeared at St. Wildwen. It was my hope that Eothas would claim me as his next vassal, but alas, the child of light remains silent. Every day I practice the ritual of banishing the shadows of unfaithful, and every day I woke up my fields of saluted without a sign of Eothas returning. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light, but how long must I remain lost in his long light of abandonment? In this my punishment for keeping my fate a secret, is Eothas hiding from me until I shout my reverences? Or oh to hear, surely he must know that the Iwudians now hate him, and that his followers, my countrymen, are quick to blame all that was terrible about the Saints' War on those of us still faithful to Iotas. Should they not be angry at the red-green soldiers, do the Direwoods not realize that to dismiss a god of rebirth and redemption is to prevent all hope of healing? I pen these words. I know that I must continue to throw the die leaf. I will awake each day with hope. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring me light. Each day I will pray with the down stars. Visit me just as they visited Saint Weldwin in his fold of Valas. Will they come to me as they did to Saint Weldwin? As a man of two women, luminescent and perfect, I told they come in presage new times. I am told many things, and I struggle to find faith to believe it all. And yet each morning the sun rises in each sky, and each morning Eotos illuminates my simple plot of land, casting away the shadows of unfaithful in his golden gaze. I thank thee, Eotos, for all spring I've had. I know that will come. I am in darkness. Please bring me the light. You know, I'm going to equip you some traps. Maybe we might use them at some point. Oh, he didn't give me the key?
Quiet. I can do that. All done.
Wooden box. Okay. We have to read them one by one, I guess. Northward patient record Batroxa, the Pale Lady. Subject is female, mid-40s. Awakened to past life a serial murderer, which now frequently emerges as the soul's dominant personality. Subject vacillates between violence and service, depression, resulting from guilt of past deeds. Weak candidate for present research. Subject is male, Graham, approximately early 30s, power of speech absent, presumably as a result of over-fragmented of his soul. As such, he is the ideal subject for present research. However, experimentation has caused severe pain in induced panic, and I have had enlist the aid of the guards in transporting him for more recent procedures. Okay. Record Ilberman, the Midnight Man. Subject is male, mid-20s. Displays acute dislocation and paranoid delusional tendencies, causing anger and extreme violence. Dangers of working with the subject preludes possibility of further use in present research. Uskgrim. Subject is male, approximately 17 years of age, adamanted for episodes of catatonic, followed by occasional violence outbursts. Initial analysis of the soul reveal several fragmentations and essence deficiencies. Says deficiency all but eliminates the possibility for utilizing the subject in present research. Okay. Note from Azo. Reply. I require more copper rubbing of my next expedition. Do not relinquish it. From the Sanctum stores. I do have time to deal with the Heart Warden's invariable question. Siedman Azo. All of those are 3. Honestly, we are not gonna use those. Okay, let's talk to you.
Good day, stranger.
Are you buying the relics from Oldmar? Not an answer, sir, no, but I do know that most of those relics are stolen from rooms in El Guapan. Selling them is illegal. Is there anything else I need to get back to? Okay. What are you doing here? I mostly help Master Ozo set up the clean the equipment. I also keep his office organized, since he's too busy to do it himself. Okay, are there any secrets here I've missed? Just want to see.
Slow and silent.
Belasage. Doesn't seem like you have anything to say there. Alrighty. Let's talk to this guy.
Hello!
I found the records of Azo. He may be running some questionable experiments. Experiments? Kidman's Azo is in charge of patient welfare. He's not authorized to run any more experiments. I am disappointed in Kidman. I had hoped he would be the one to guide your inquiry. He'll be in his office or in the patient's ward. I am granting you immediate access, so you can find him. No doubt you will wish to speak with him further on matters. And I, for one, am curious as to what he might have to say. Tread carefully in the wards. There are a few dangerous cases. I would ask also that you do your best not to agitate the patients. They have enough troubles as it is. Very well then. Money. Cool. Oh, do we have any missions by the way in the castle? I don't think so. Nope, nothing. Good enough, let's move out. The head warden says you can go in. Be careful in there. Must spend all that copper on the upstairs. Flash constructs. Very well, let's talk with you. Yliel. You must be visiting someone. A friendly visit, I hope. What can you tell me about Azo? Oh, I like him very much. Many animators could care less about their patients. Look at us, like vermin for their experiments, but Master Azo treats us like humans. Even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What exactly happened to him? They don't want to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in the Direwood. It was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and save the legacy, but at Hogwash, even if he was a bit of a showman, he loved his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work. Suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once and he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy. I think he called it, got some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? He pointed it. It was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. Gods know that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies in Ondra's gift? Yes. I could just finish what you were saying. Master Ozo had secluded a public demonstration of his work in Copperland. He was so excited. And then the next day he was locked in his office, turning away visitors. I heard, and he stopped seeing patients. I don't know what exactly happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I am glad they are letting him treat people once more. Where can I find Azo? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? It shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. Have you had any patients here that were acting unnaturally? Well, there's Berixa, who relieves a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Edelman, who they say only has half a soul, and who has found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be the false one. Graham, he speaks a language no one understands, and wails at night sometimes. Different from their normal behavior. Well, yes, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Azel let us know that a number of patients in the Northern Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to the laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seems to me it has gotten quieter over there since it started. It's Graham, I see. It's Graham. I see them talking, and the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. Can I visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separate. I don't know what I've ever seen a guard allow visitors, just Master Advil. You might ask him. He's very sympathetic. Why are you in here? I don't want to say. You think less of me. When you blush, it brings out the color of your eyes. Her blush deepened, and she ducked her head forward, to bury her face deeper beneath her hair. These last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in Said's war. My daughter, the legacy, took her before she was even mine. I made do. What else can I do? I moved in a tiny place in Ondra's gift, got my bedding clothes on the kindness of strangers when I had to, but I was surviving, and the gods were watching over me. I could live with them. The one day this noblewoman comes in, wants this fancy gold fixed. Gorgeous thing, this shade of blue. I'd never seen before, only I had looked. It reminded me of something I had, what they call an awakening. I remembered being a noblewoman myself in another life, people doting over me, men doting over me. Me, the best food and the most beautiful home, all things you'd never dare to dream of. They were mine. I was poison. Knowing that, all those things I had, I'll never have this in my life. It did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls of my little room seemed to close in around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that break into the state, and started ordering servants around. It seemed like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it, and I start to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Okay? Maybe you'll get there one day. If not in this life, then perhaps in another. The strange part is I think even the best wouldn't be good enough for me anymore. I think it must have gotten to the point when I was the noble lady. Goodbye. Cracked chalk totally marks over the surface of the table, okay? The corked boards show deep scratch marks. They're placed like folk of elven fragment nails. Oh, those flesh constructs are gonna attack me at some point. I mean, they look creepy, and you know what that means in games. No speak. Keep your distant wits in the castle back there. We've had incidents when people got in. And look, a library. Don't see any secrets in this.
Need something?
Check, no, okay. A Saint's War. Part 2.
Low and silent.
Locking this will require a proper key, / constructs. Quite a lot of them. And another page.
Have a look at this.
Oh, that's cool. Nothing in here. And nothing in here. So, shall we proceed? I say we read a book. Animals in the Modern Age. Animancy is a science both respected and revered, sometimes by the same person. For all the research done on the topic, we still know so little. Control over life itself, something animancers have been working towards for hundreds of years. There are no real records of how the practice of animancy was first discovered, but once the spark of knowledge ignited, there was no stopping its inevitable discoveries. In 2260 AI, animancers, as a result of their extensive research, successfully contained a transferred soul. The subject of the experiment, whose name is unknown, was young and wealthy, but infirm. The idea was to move his soul from a dying body into that of a recently deceased man who had suffered an accident. The new body, bearing only a slight decay, would house the soul, giving the man much better life. The outcome of this experiment resulted in a condemnation and outlaw of animancy in the Andir Empire. Again, while we have no true records of what happened, as they were all destroyed after the animancy was outlawed, a journal was discovered, a makeshift confession by one of the practitioners. Except from that a journal follows. 2260 AI, Von Premier, the 16th. It is done, and the gods forgive us for their arrogance. I am not sure what I was expecting, certainly not that, but that did any of us expected. Still, behind the revelation, there is a sense of pride, something I can't deny. All the research, all the studying, everything we worked for. We thought we'd change the world. How it changed. All was in place. The twisted form lying in the table next to it, new vessels, the equipment had been prepared, the tentacles and potions all carefully crafted, every detail painstakingly organized to ensure a success. We must assured succeeded. The procedure went exactly as it should, the soul extracted from the old body held bound in place to prevent it from moving on. Then the next step, transferring the flesh vessel. It was beautiful and terrifying. I listened as they spoke the words of binding. I watched the soul move. Not the soul itself, of course, but the vapor. The vapor. We used to detect it as it lowered into the vessel. A gentle luminescence covered the body, and then nothing. Silence. Darkness. I held my breath, afraid that even the slightest disturbance would destroy all our hard work. Then motion. Then, dear God, then blood. How did I survive? I do not know. The vessel rose from the slab and Rome breathed. Every person crowded around the table, exulted. Some cheered. We had made life from death. We had become eternal. The body closed its eyes and tilted its head, looking for all purposes to be listening for something or to do it or to it. Then its eyes popped open. It moved its lips, peered back from its teeth, and horrible expression of fury. It fell on the nearest man, tearing his throat, knocking him to the ground. Then the room erupted into screams, shouts, and flurry of bodies, running, pushing, doing everything in their power to get away from the creature sitting to their colleague. But right before that happened, in a split second before the chaos, when there was nothing in the air but stutter, terrified silence, I heard it, sitting there on his chest, at his neck. And it was feasting. Scary. Right, this is where I'm gonna end the episode. Thank you all for joining me, and I'm gonna see you all next time. Goodbye.